Welcome back, Luke. I'm so happy you were able to make it back here again.
Yes, hi, thank you.
You're welcome. Can I get you anything before we get started?
No, I'm okay.
Great. Just so you know, I do have some fidgets here for you to utilize if you're finding it hard to keep your hands busy. I've got some putty and I've got some really cool Worry Rocks here too. So just feel free to use those as we're talking, okay?
Sounds good, thank you.
You're welcome. How has your day been going so far?
It's been going good. It's been going good.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, I seem to be noticing that I'm doing better in school.
That's great.
I'm concentrating a little bit better. I'm talking more about it, and I've actually found somebody that is kind of going through the same thing as I am, which really helps.
I bet it does. That's a great, healthy tool for you to utilize. And I know it always helps when we can find somebody that's going through something similar to us. That's great. Thanks for sharing.
Absolutely.
So last time you were here, we explored your mom's negative behaviors more in depth. We also discussed how you have been using journaling to express your feelings, using that as a healthy tool. So today, the goal is to discuss these things a little bit further so that we can come up with some solid goals before we end our last session today. Is that okay with you?
Sounds good.
Great. Let's get started. Can you tell me about any changes you've noticed the past 2 weeks in your mom's behavior, good or bad?
Yeah, I don't think it's getting any better. And I think that she's really starting to feel like everybody's noticing more. Is exactly how I feel.
Okay. So it sounds like nothing has really changed and that mom is maybe feeling a little bit guilty and shameful of her negative behaviors. Does that sound right?
That's exactly I think how she's feeling.
Okay.
Like she's not able to hide it anymore as much because we kind of all been talking about it and questioning her about it.
So there's been more dialogue between you and your family members. People seem to be more aware of what's going on, including you.
Yes.
Well, that's a good thing because once a problem is brought closer to the surface, then that means we can do something about that. So we will try to look at that in a positive light, okay? How does that make you feel that there's more awareness about your mom's behaviors and that maybe she's closer to getting help?
It makes me feel really good because I think that's why I'm feeling better. I've noticed that I've been more positive and I've not been so alone. I've not felt so alone.
That's great, and you should be feeling more positive and you should be feeling like there's hope when everybody's talking about it and trying to come up with some solutions. So, like you said last time, you felt like you could be part of the solution, and it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing. So,
yes.
Great job, Luke. Do you ever feel like other family members are maybe enabling your mom? You might even feel that way yourself. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I found myself making excuses for her a lot.
Okay.
And and I think everybody is, really, to be honest with you. Like, there's times where she says something and we really know that it's not true, but we just kind of go along with it because at times we don't have to deal with it, maybe. That makes sense?
It does make sense. It sounds like sometimes it's easier to put our heads in the sand and ignore what's really going on because once we face what's really going on, it makes you feel bad about it.
Right.
And it also forces you to do something about it, and that's hard for any of us.
Right, like then we actually have to deal with it instead of just...
Yes.
Because I think we all have things going on in our life personally and then family, and then it just kind of gets bigger and bigger. And with this whole situation, I feel like everybody wants to help, but nobody knows how without hurting her, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And it sounds like you're being as helpful as you know how to be, and you're trying your best to stay positive. You're doing all the right things. And it also sounds like your family is trying their best to help your mom and come up with something that is going to work for her.
They are. I truly think they are.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. What would you like to see done differently? Maybe something that's not happening right now that you think should be happening.
Well, she didn't have, ever since that I can remember, not that she doesn't have a job, but she's not working. She's always just kind of taking care of us, me and my brother. And I just feel that if she had a job, maybe that would help occupy her time, and then she wouldn't be sitting around thinking, because I know there's a reason that she's using, and
Okay.
I feel that if she did more things, then maybe she wouldn't have all this time to be using. And I know that that's one of the things that I've been trying to do more is do positive things like sports and just hanging out with positive friends, and it's helping me, so I couldn't hurt her.
That sounds great. Thank you so much for sharing. It sounds like you feel like if she got a job, she would have less time to be drinking and engaging in her negative behaviors, and that would also help you continue to be more positive and have a better outlook on things. Does that sound right?
Yes, it does, and I feel like our relationship would get back to the way it used to be, because it wasn't always like this. And I know that she's just stuck in a rut right now, and if we can get her out of the rut, then I would only assume that things would go back to the way they used to be.
Can you tell me a little bit more about how things used to be, and when's the last time you remember them being that way?
Well, we used to do more things as a family, as immediate family and extended family. We always have been very family oriented, and we would always be, when I say different, it was more like relaxing, and just there wasn't tension, and it was fun. It was fun to be around. And now every time we get together, or almost like when I wake up or when I see my mom, I'm just like, oh, is she gonna be drinking, or is she gonna be laying around because she doesn't feel good, or like it's that constant, you don't know, and I never had that before. And I think that's the biggest thing that, there's been a few different things that we've done in these past few months, me, my dad, my brother, and my mom, and she just stayed behind, and I don't know, we kept doing it because you could just tell my dad he doesn't even want to deal with it.
Right.
And when I say going back to the way it used to be, I guess just where we were all like a family, and not just the three of us.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that things were a lot more relaxed, and you felt happier overall when Mom wasn't drinking, and she was more engaged with you and your brother and your dad when you were doing fun things together. And it sounds like now you don't have that so much, but the good thing is that it sounds like you're positive, and you know that someday it can get back to that, and you can be a big part of that.
I know it can get back to that. Like I don't feel like it's been too late. Like I've seen things on TV, and I've heard things, in like the news, and I don't feel like it's like it's a lost cause, or I don't feel like it's like she's not fixable.
Right.
If that makes sense.
It does make sense, and this does not have to be the end all. There are many wonderful resources for not only your mom, but also for you, your brother, your dad, to help everybody as a family to get through this and to hopefully come out better and stronger on the other side. And it sounds like you guys are heading in the right direction, so that's wonderful. You are really great with coming up with solutions and staying positive. You're doing great with your healthy coping skills, like your journaling. So don't ever doubt that you can't be part of the solution, because you already have been, whether you realize it or not. So I just wanted to commend you on that. Great job, Luke.
Yeah, thank you. I've never done that before. I've never been one to write down like my feelings, but it's different when you write it down. I feel like you like work through it maybe more, and it's not just it's not somebody telling you to do it. You actually like when you want to do it. That it's like it's releasing all that built up stress.
I'm glad you're finding it to be a healthy coping skill that you can hopefully continue to utilize as long as you find it being helpful. And there's also some other goals and tools that we can discuss today that may be helpful to you as well. So I know this might be a difficult question, but I am going to ask it. What can you do to help yourself if mom's negative behavior continues and she doesn't get help as soon as you would like her to?
I kind of already thought about that. I don't want to be around this very much longer. It's not that I don't want to be around it, but I feel like if it continues and it doesn't change, that I need to change something in my life. Like maybe go live with a different relative until things get better, because I just don't want it to. I don't want it to bring me to a point where I'm starting to do things that I know that I shouldn't be doing. And I really think that if I might have to go live with somebody else for a little while, take just a break, or if my parents don't make it, then maybe go live with my dad.
Okay.
I don't know if that's something that you're looking for, but that's just something that I've been thinking about.
Well, I'm not looking for anything in particular. I'm just wondering and trying to get a better idea to see if you've thought of any of these things yet, so that maybe I can help you navigate through. You mentioned something about noticing behaviors in yourself that you didn't like, or as you said, doing things that you know you shouldn't be doing. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, like skipping school.
Okay.
Just having like a bad attitude about life, and then just kind of wanting to give up. Not give up like hurt myself, never that, but like just give up like I don't care. I don't want to go to school. I don't want to, I just, and I'm seeing other people do it, and I don't know if it's something that I'm just falling into, or if I feel like it's because of everything that's going on. I just want to run away, and that, for me, that's an easy way. That's an easy out.
How often have you been skipping school, Luke?
It just started recently, actually.
So less than 5 times, less than 3 times?
Oh, more than that.
More than that?
Yeah.
Maybe around 10 times?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's no one at home to really monitor it, because my mom hasn't really been herself. So, and I never did that before. So I just, that's something that scares me.
So it sounds like, on one hand, you don't want to be skipping school or having a bad attitude of giving up, but yet you continue to skip school. What do you think about that, and what do you think you could do differently to change that?
Well, I know it's not good, and I know it's not going to help me out, and it's not going to do anything for my future. So I think that, and you're the first person that I've told, and just by your reaction, I know that it's something that I should really be thinking more serious about. And I it's not that I want to do it. Everything just starts to kind of build up inside, and then I don't care, and I need to care.
So it sounds like when you get overwhelmed, that you really just want to escape and leave, whether that means you're going to get in trouble or not with school. Does that sound right?
That's exactly how I feel.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with me. Let's go over some goals, and let's write some things down so that you have something to take with you. I would really like to come up with some goals to help you to stop skipping school and to keep your positive attitude. And I want to also talk about some things you can do when you feel like giving up. So Luke, what are some things that you can do when you feel like leaving school? I want you to give me 3 things that you could do instead of leaving.
Well, I could not.
It's okay, take your time.
Yeah, I just.
What about journaling, like you do at home?
Yeah, that definitely would be something that I should do, because it does make me feel better. I think calling like one of the friends that I was telling you about that is kind of going through this would be another really good idea.
Okay. See, we've got 2, just one
Right.
more.
And I think just keeping myself busy by doing something would be very helpful too. And what I mean by that is just not sitting around and thinking about it.
So maybe getting a head start on homework for the night?
Start on homework, picking up a basketball, doing anything that, like a break.
Okay. Those are great goals. I would suggest that you talk to your teachers before you do any of these things. Maybe your school counselor, make them aware of what's going on if you feel comfortable, just so that they don't take it as you acting out.
Right.
And that they understand that you're using these as healthy coping skills. Does that sound good to you, Luke?
That sounds really good.
Great. So, this is the end of our session. We've got a few more minutes left, so I wanted to take some time to go over some other options. Now that we won't be meeting anymore, I wanted to let you know about this program called Teen Al-Anon. Have you ever heard of that, Luke?
I have not.
All right, so let me explain. Basically, it's a group of fellow teens that gets together, and they are all struggling with parents or caregivers or loved ones that are also having difficulties with drinking.
Oh, wow.
What do you think about that?
It sounds like it'd be very helpful.
I think it would be really helpful for you too. So, I have a list here of all different times, locations, and anything else that you might need to know on there, contact information for these different meetings. So I would really appreciate if you would hang on to that. If for whatever reason you lose a copy, you can call my office and we can get you another one, or typically they will provide meeting lists at other meetings.
Right.
I just think that would be a really great tool for you, and I think it's important that you stick with something that's going to be beneficial to you and it's going to help you work
Right.
through all these issues that are going on in your life. And even if your mom doesn't choose to get help and to get better, at least you're doing something to help yourself, that so you can stay on the right path. How does that sound?
That sounds good. Absolutely.
Great. Well, I just want to thank you so much for attending all these sessions with me. I hope that you got a lot out of it and that you are leaving here today with some other resources and some great tools.
All right. Thank you so much.